Hey everyone, my name is Kyle Pugh. I'm one of your fellow instructors on Udemy. I want to show off perhaps one of my favorite tools inside of Microsoft Excel, and this will tie into how you can quickly summarize the revenue report that Udemy supplies for each of us as you teach on Udemy. So the first thing you need to get, if you want to follow along with me here, is download the CSV file that comes inside of your revenue report for a specific month. So as an example, we'll take November, just this previous month. You jump into your revenue for November 2017 and find the CSV report. Download the CSV report.csv. This file, if you got Excel on your system, automatically opens up inside of Excel and you can quickly summarize the data. Now the tool that I want to show off inside of Excel is called the pivot table. Now I'm sure loads of instructors on Udemy are familiar with pivot tables. For those that aren't, I'm going to show off how you can quickly summarize the data found inside that report that Udemy provides for each of us. So open in front of you, I've got an example of this report. This is the November sales, the report that I've gotten from Udemy. I've done a little bit of modification to it just to get rid of some numbers, but in general, this is the type of report that you're going to end up with. Now, before we get in and start to summarize the data and take advantage of this super cool feature inside of Excel called the pivot table, we need to clean it up a little bit. It's got actually too much information inside of it and stuff that really is going to detract from truly summarizing our revenue for the month. What I'm really concerned with, if I scroll down in here, is mine starting on row 27, and yours might be on a slightly different location, but I've got some headers in here. Transaction ID down to exchange rate with a whole bunch in between there. I want my sheet here to start with those headers. I want row 27 to be at the top, which means I need to get rid of all this additional information here at the top. So what I'll do is I'll click on the number 1 there. I want to get rid of that first row. I'm going to scroll down till just before those headers, and there in your report it might be on a slightly different location, different row, essentially where you see sales. I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to select row 26. Now that'll select everything up above it as well, everything from row 1 to row 26. Once I've got that selected, I'm going to right click one of the headers and I'm going to delete. I don't need those, get rid of them. Again, they're just going to distract from summarizing the actual data that we want here. Now there's some more data down below that we want to get rid of as well. So what I'm going to do is click into column B, hold down my control key, press my down arrow. This will jump me to the bottom of that master list, the revenue report, and it's going to take me into the redemptions section. Redemptions are things like when people gift a course to somebody else, you get to see who it got gifted to and so on. And then down below that, they'll show you the returns as well. So I don't need any of that. I'm going to click on the last row there, just right where it says redemptions. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. And I'm going to find that last row. I'm going to hold down my shift key just like I did earlier. Grab that. I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete. We don't need those rows as well. Let's get them out of there. Now, it's always something that you could potentially use within your report if you want to be able to find out a total of returns or total of gifted courses and such. But for now, I'm really just concerned with the revenue portion of my report. So now, click back into my list. I'm going to press Control Up arrow. This will take me back to the top. I've got my list. It's got my headers along the top and down below everything that deals with the revenue that I've had for the month of November. There's some really good information here. You've got a formatted date when the sale took place. You've got the course name. You've got the user. You got the coupon that was used. You've got how much it was actually paid for the course and what the instructor share is. That's probably the one you're going to focus in on the most. Now we get all this good information, but right now it's just raw data. I want to quickly summarize it because I want to know, well, how much did we make each day of the month? What was the average that we made for each day? Give me the total up to a certain day, whatever it might be. I want to get a breakdown by course, okay, or a breakdown by coupons. These are all things that we can really quickly do using a pivot table. Take a look. So once you've cleaned up your data, you got rid of those extra rows up above and those extra rows down below. delete them out of there. We don't need them. We just want the main list. I'm then going to go up to my Insert tab, top of my screen, and I'm going to go turn on Pivot Table. Pivot Table. I'll give that a click. Now it's going to ask you for some information that's really already filled out. First thing, it just wants to know where your data is at. Well, mine is from A1 to O4538, whatever, however long your list is. And second thing is, well, where do you want to create the pivot table? So I'm going to leave it set to default. It already knows where my list is at. I clicked in it first, then I did Insert Pivot Table, and I'm going to put it into a new worksheet. So I'll hit OK. So this will create a whole new sheet here at the bottom of our screen. And over on the right, very important, we've got your pivot table field list. Now here, we've got all the headers that are a part of your list. Remember transaction ID and formatted date. And if I scroll down here, you've got the instructor share. Well, watch this. If I click into instructor share, it places this field, this column header, inside of the value section of my pivot table. And right away, I can get a grand total of sales for this report from day 1 to whatever day it was that I downloaded the report on. And well, that's great. Now I can see the grand total. But let's see, now I want to get a breakdown by day. I want to know how much I made on the first day versus the second day versus the third day and so on. Well, here I'm going to go find formatted date, which is the purchase date for whoever purchased your course. I'm going to select that and drag it down to the rows section. And now I've got a breakdown by day. So you can see on the 1st of November, this much came in. On the 11th of November, this much came in, and so on. Now, this is pretty exciting. Just how quickly you can summarize your data. A couple little drags of the mouse. Now I've got a sum of my instructor share, and I've got it broken out by the formatted date. Well, you know what? For each date, I want to know how well each of the courses sold. Maybe you've got 2 courses. Maybe you've got 15. Maybe you've got hundreds of courses. Well, I can go find course name. I'm going to drag that down into the row section right below formatted date. And now I've got a breakdown of the courses and what they made for each of those days. If I don't like that, I want to go back to just the dates. I could drag that out of there. Course name, just drag it back up. It's back out of there, and now I'm back to the breakdown by day. Well, maybe I want to look at it by coupon. Well, let's get rid of the dates. And I'm going to drag the coupon code into the rows section. And now I've got a breakdown of the coupon codes and how much each of them made there. So again, very quickly we can summarize the data all based on that Udemy revenue report that they provide for us. So try this out. Go download that report. Just go to a month. November was a great one. Take a look at it. Download the CSV file and open it up. If you've got Excel in your system, it'll open it up right inside of Excel. Clean it up. Remember, get rid of those extra rows up above and the rows down below. We don't need them. You just want to start with those headers and then the main list. Once you've got that, click into the list, go to Insert, insert your pivot table. And then it's up to you. Drag the instructor share into the value section, drag the formatted data into the rows, however you want to format it, however you want to look at your data. A really quick, efficient way to be able to summarize your data. So when you're not so busy refreshing your revenue report, download it and open it up into Excel and quickly summarize it. And just for fun, once you've created your pivot table, let's get this back to dates. I can click into my pivot table, go up to my Analyze tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and you've got a chart option. So I can click on chart, pick my type of chart. Maybe I'm going to run with a line chart. I'll hit OK. And now I've got this super fancy line chart to go along with that data, all from the revenue report that Udemy provides. So try this out, sit back, relax, and watch it roll in.